Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Asked is the only tool to access live People Also Ask data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
Hello everyone. I'm going to dive right in because I've got about 100 slides and this is my first run, but this is thousands of hours of research looking at API leaks, the antitrust, document exhibits and things like that, as well as combining what I've learned from studying AI, data science, machine learning, etc., as well as sort of a background in SEO, mostly in link building, which is, this is my talk, my first talk at Brighton on AI in 2019, using AI for SEO to optimize, that process, bring down the cost of delivery, production, and really to not produce best quality, really. What I should have been doing, what would have been more future-proof, is doing SEO for AI. Because the search engines are evolving, we're moving beyond text, content, and so on, to meaning and understanding. And Plato defined knowledge as justified true belief, which is ultimately what Google is trying to do here. They're trying to understand what is truth, fact, fiction, justify that using reasonable sort of signals. And there's also this Gettier problem, which is something Google has to contend with, which is down to us, which is justified false belief. So they believe the signals are reasonable, that the signals that we're generating as SEOs, but of course, sometimes they're fabricated. So this is the challenge that we're up against with search, with search in the web, indexing. And with the cost of content coming down, poor content reducing down to almost nothing, that presents a real problem for Google. Generative AI has resulted in cycle after cycle after cycle of synthetic content based on the same training data, which is then based on the web, which is then based on, we end up in an infinite loop, and which can cause model breakdown. It's not true knowledge, it's not true quality really. So the search engines, this is from SEMrush, sorry for not citing their features, their tracking features. The search engines have of course evolved. And the latest invention there is Google's new AI mode, the full page generation, which I'm sure you've heard lots about today. Full page synthetic content, personalized to the individual, to their context, to their background, to their skill level, their knowledge on the subject, with reasoning, clarifying questions, not yet, but we know from other LLMs and things, and creating a consistent user experience across the Google ecosystem, a familiar, safe, consistent experience, keeping everybody on Google. Great for the user, great for shareholder value too, of course. So, probably all wondering the same as me and the rest of the industry is, what does that mean for the rest of us in terms of our return for the knowledge that we create, on the web? And with Google integrating more and more products and services across the ecosystem, where you don't even need to leave Google to carry out that full action, it's making things very difficult. It's just what we'll be left with at the end. just a single button. I'm feeling lucky. And presents a real problem for businesses, for us as an industry. And without the need for that front-end website, will the actual web page be demoted to where the old cached link used to be? Just go back and check the old school source. But people haven't stopped using the web. If anything, it's always increasing, but it is evolving. And this industry is very good at doing the same. And we need to, because we're moving from what's known as information retrieval to question answering, direct questions to a query, to a user prompt, because search is actually quite rubbish. The internet is getting a bit old. It's a bit cumbersome. Search is a task. It's not really like the end. It's a means to an end, and also quite often not very effective, as you can see here with what's not really a very complicated query. I was looking for a Chrome extension. On the left, I tried Google, didn't give me what I needed. None of those results are relevant, but the clarifying questions from from ChatGPT helped it to understand my query. So we're moving from this relatively simplistic PageRank algorithm to ranking in a 3D space, high-dimensional space of vectors, embeddings, and so on. And this is what we need to do to evolve and keep up and understand this very complex microservices systems that Google has, all of these different algorithms, models, all working together, carrying out various parts of the process, from reducing the results down from millions, down to tens of thousands, down to thousands, down to hundreds, down to 10, and even down to less than 10. And that final stage, using NavBoost, which is effectively training the algorithm on our behavior. And we know that knowledge is a big part, kind of an abstraction, a level up from the content itself. And that knowledge is extracted when we go and perform those AI modes, AI overviews, those queries. It's going out there and using a technique known as query fan out to pull in all of these different pages, understand, run natural language processing on the text, understand what it's about, process it and just identify it. But we're moving to more of an NLU model. That's query fan out on the left. Before, instead of just ranking 10 objects, data objects on a page, we use this, Google now uses this passage ranking method. Query fan out will go and perform potentially hundreds of searches all at once, and then construct a query based on all of that. We've been indexing and organizing knowledge for centuries. And we often do this using ontologies. And there are ontologies for everything, including even washing machines. So these ontologies enable us to build this is Wikidata, which is the data element of Wikipedia. And as you can see, it enables us to construct a really clear page, identify relationships, and map those relationships to these various entities. And we've gone from just simply counting those links to reasoning and understanding the context through the anchor text and the semantics, to actually just understanding the entities on those pages. My wonderful colleagues over at Seeker do some incredible PR campaigns, and here's one where they landed a mention in the BBC. No link directly, but obviously the brand is mentioned alongside. There's various entities, people entities in there, their roles, and we know that from the leaks and the testimonies in court, that author rank and those factors and signals are very, very important. So when you get mentioned in that content, we've got, with a brand or with an entity, Google understands that relationship and starts to build and layer up the edges and the nodes, much like links. So we're going from hyperlinks to semantic links. Those entities on that article, countries and so on, the co-occurrence, the co-citation brings you to closer together on a graph. And we know a lot about Google's use of knowledge, its interpretation and its definitions from the one place where companies, in simplistic terms, have to tell the truth under oath. And what I've noticed going through these documents is they have the web team, they have web answers team, and they have this knowledge engine team. And this comes up time and time again. So Google even has job listings for these roles. So if Google is a knowledge engine, then that makes us knowledge engine optimizers. We've heard of Gen AI, we've heard of AIO, all of these new terms. They partly describe, but not fully. And of course, KEO isn't the whole picture because that is just one element of it. But the knowledge engines and those data stores are the systems used to quantify, store, extract knowledge from text. And we have this knowledge vault as well, interestingly, which Google has said doesn't exist, but there are papers, research papers on it, there are patents on it, and it's mentioned in some of the leaked documentation the vault seems to be where information, and a data vault is all of this unstructured information. So that's where unverified facts go, it seems. And the work that we do with links, with mentions, with PR, over time, those facts become substantiated and validated. And then my belief and others believe that they then, once it's reached a certain confidence level, it goes into the knowledge graph. These knowledge graphs power all of these intelligent agents and assistants. We have this this customer decision journey that we often refer to in marketing. Well, now we have a new audience to market to on that customer decision journey. These deep research modes and so on, these agents actually carry out this work on our behalf. And when they plug into things like MCP, Model Control Protocol, which, by the way, has been an absolute game changer for myself in terms of applying AI and machine learning to my work in business. It takes these isolated models and turns them into integrated entities that can carry things out for us. And Google has Google DeepMind has Project Astra, a very complex and advanced assistant. And this deep research mode can produce and do tens and tens of searches, maybe even hundreds all at once. We don't fully know how it does that, and also we don't fully know what it says about us. So going back to ranking in 3D, moving up in the search results to actually imagining your brand as a shape. In data science, they use the term shape to describe often the quantities of rows and columns, X, Y, and the Z axes, and so many more dimensions. So which way, how is your brand shaped, and how can you nurture and develop that? So we set out to test this, of course, and understand how these models are perceiving brands. And we carried out some research. We mapped our keywords to the customer decision journey, keywords that you'd often map to your content strategies and your page optimization, etc. And then we ran them through Grok, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek even, and some of these studies, and built these tools to understand what the shape of the brand is. What does the AI know about you? What is its perception of your brand? And it's not just about ranking for a keyword, but it's understanding what features and benefits it associates with your brand, what attributes. They are the edges on the nodes. They are the entities. When looking back to Wikidata, they are the sub bullet points, almost the other fields on your entity. And this is a big shift, because an agent, what we've learned from those deep research mode tools and things is, it's not necessarily, when I extracted all of the Ahrefs metrics for thousands of citations, it wasn't necessarily ranking higher in the search results for like a head term. It was like, what was mentioned in your query? And it goes out and looks for specific aspects and which area are you strongest in as a brand. The attribution, the benefits attribution there. So it also enables you to compare your competitors and see where you sit in these graphs, and then we can learn what the ground truth is about our brand in these systems. We also learned that some of these pages are highly cited. There's a disproportionate concentration for very lots of comparison pages, and UGC, user-generated content, because that's trusted experience sources. We can learn which models cite the web the most, and AI overviews and Gemini were high, as was Perplexity, and we know that it cites mostly at the awareness stage. So all of these different attributes and things we can learn by constructing a prompt framework, and really learn quite a lot about the relationship between brands, entities, features, attributes on the web. And it's important to know this, because we know these models hallucinate, and it's important to increase the confidence of facts and information that we want. Otherwise, it won't get picked up, or it will be misrepresented. So I recommend you go out there and create a brand ground truth document. This is the same as your marketing documents, your strategy, your positioning, your values, your tone of voice, and create it for the agents, for the model, and make sure that you're growing the brand into the areas that you want to, and create it in a machine-readable format like so, using Markdown. This is just extracted from your traditional marketing documents, because this is how the machines read content. Now, My Proteins page, I'm sure it's fantastic content, but when you extract the semantic triples from that page, this is what the machine understands. There's also a new technology called LLMs.txt, a bit like your robots file. Many agents and websites are adopting this, and it's a place that the models can go to understand without having to pass all of that unstructured content, your JavaScript, and so on, because that increases the cost of compute, and computing AI is very expensive. There's also tools like Firecrawl that will enable you to do this, and it has an MCP plugin like so Claude, etc. can use this. And I also recommend we stop thinking about content as knowledge, because regenerating another blog post with no facts, no first-party data, no quotes, testimonials, and so on isn't going to get you very far. One of our clients produces all of these fantastic reports, and on the industry, they're actually contributing to the web instead of just littering it up with another ChatGPT answer. The engines absolutely love this stuff. Of course, schema as well, and wanted to make a point there that there's so much more to schema than the usual popular attributes that people use. There's very sophisticated, novel, specialized schema types that I recommend. There's also another web called the semantic web, coined by Tim Berners-Lee in 1999. Tim Berners-Lee is the inventor of the World Wide Web, the human readable web. Now, the semantic web sits alongside it, and it has this 5-star classification scheme. Level 1 is your content is just available on the web. Level 2 is it's machine readable, and then it moves right up to a 5-star classification, which means it's in a knowledge graph. It's in open best practice standards and formats. So what level is your brand at? How accessible are you to these agents? Because when you go and structure your data and plot it and organize it using ontologies, you can connect to the worldwide web of graphs, federated knowledge graphs. So you can put your products and services in there, for example, any new information that you're producing as a brand, and make that accessible to everybody out there and for these agents to run inference. And this helps to nurture and grow your brand online. And of course, we're moving to further away from the web page. Headless CMS, XR, AR, and so on. It's very much going to be like this, I believe, in future. And going back to that customer decision journey, there's a whole other step 0 now. Step 1 being awareness of need. Step 0, anticipation of need. Knowing that you need or want something before you even knew it yourself. And maybe in future, these systems will just surface a suggestion directly to you, whether that's a product or whether that's telling you that your fridge is empty and you need to order, or you're going to be late for work. And moving into a mindset of marketing to machines, machine PR, and nurturing your brand shape and profile is what's going to help us move forward in this new era. So yeah, I'm the founder of Seeker Digital, and I've been working heavily in Seeker AI for the past year, and we're conducting research, running experiments, and applying AI to this industry, and we're producing actual real research with our data scientists and engineers, and developing services for the agency. And this is a fantastic product, a link graph analysis and semantic link graph analysis tool by a very smart friend of mine called Alan, who is down at the Seeker stand. And this enables you to see your links like Google does. And I highly recommend you start looking into these graph networks and a new way of interpreting your brand and nurturing your brand profile online. That's it from me. Thank you very much.
Demand sphere. Limitless visual insights from the SERPs. Unlimited dashboards and users. Easy to use and easy to scale your growth to new levels.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.